Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are now listening to the greatest podcast on the planet. And I am one of your hosts, Big Jack, a.k.a. The Great One.
What's going on, everybody? It's Buddy, a.k.a. Camouflage, and you are now listening to the Sports Cypher.
This is Marl, and you are now tuned in and tuned up for the Sports Cypher.
What's good? This is Ricardo, aka the reason why your girl disappears on football Sundays. And you are tuned into the Sports Cypher.
This is Blade, aka the Ace of Spades. They save the best for last on Sports Cypher.
Give the people what they want.
All right, welcome everybody to another edition of the Sports Cypher. Today we're going to focus on the NCAA, or which I like to call the collegiate plantation. We're going to start off with a little brief history about the NCAA, then we'll roll into some questions and answers. Ricardo, give us a little summary, please.
Yeah, so the precursor to the NCAA came about in the early 20th century due to deaths during football games of collegiate athletes. And Teddy Roosevelt, who was the president at the time, was really into sports and outdoorsmanship, and he believed that athletics and education was the key to success in anything in life. So he got together with Harvard, Yale, and Princeton and created a board that basically made rules governing college athletics. So in 1906, this body turned into the NCAA as we pretty much know it today. Their membership obviously has grown, and the things that they hold stewardship over has grown over the last 100 plus years, 115 years. But that's just a brief overlook of how the NCAA got started as a actual governing body of college athletics.
All right.
Okay.
And from there, we're going to move into what they're calling the
Go ahead, Ricardo. Rich Paul Rule.
The Rich Paul Rule, yeah. So, Cam, what you got on that?
Okay, let me lighten the listeners. So, NCAA came out with this rule that said you cannot give advice to a college player unless you have a 4-year degree. So that was deemed the Rich Paul Rule because 1 year ago also NCAA came out and made this a rule a year ago that players can actually talk and get advice from current NBA agents on their stock and their probability to get drafted without losing their eligibility and able to go back to play basketball if their stock is low. So Rich Paul actually gave advice to a player who was the coach Jim Boeheim was very angry at Rich Paul. He actually gave advice to a player. The player listened to Rich Paul and actually went in the first round of the draft pick. The player name escapes me right now.
Baisley is his last name. I can't remember the young man's first name, and that was interesting because he told Baisley basically don't. Well, I don't know exactly what his advice was, but based on his advice, the young man he basically reneged on his
Syracuse.
His what do you call that? The
scholarship to Syracuse.
Yeah, the acceptance letter.
Acceptance. Yeah.
Oh, letter to commit. Yeah, he reneged on that letter to commit, and he ended up just working out, and he didn't play college basketball. Which would have been his freshman year. He just forego college, worked out, and ended up being drafted in the first round anyway.
And you got endorsement from New Balance, right?
Yeah, I think it was a 1 or It was either $1 million or $3 million. It was multi-million-dollar endorsement though with the
So all
fellas.
that pretty much goes together with the NCAA coming out with this rule, which Rich Paul, by the way, does not have
College
a
degree,
college
right?
degree at all, but he learned under Nike, and he learned under CAA, which is another sports agency,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the legendary agents that's in the game learned from underneath him. And he equivalated that to going to MIT or Michigan State by learning the knowledge he learned from them. But the rule pretty much was Dean Rich Paul rule because it was going to stop somebody like him to have connection with these young players that becomes in the future be his clients in the future. So, that was pretty much a knock on him and anybody that's, taking the road that he took.
Right.
Was pretty much discriminating against him just because he don't have a college degree, even though he passed the rules of the test he had to pass by the
Players
National
Association.
Basketball Players Association. Yep.
The NBP.
So
What is it called?
hours later, hours later, they wound up reneging it, or a day later.
A week.
It was about
a week.
Like a week. It was about a week.
week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once they got the backlash from everybody, and it was a lot of people that were just unhappy with what they were trying to do. I know LeBron James was one of the people who had spoke out on it, but the
Chris
backlash,
Paul,
the backlash from it, they just couldn't ignore. They couldn't ignore it, so they had to go ahead and tear it up.
Well, the rule they were trying to make it harder for the agents or the agents that didn't go to college, the guys that they don't like, because they didn't like Rich Paul. They didn't like him.
Exactly.
So they're making a barrier of entry for them. So they're trying to say, you leave our players alone because they belong to us. We want to dictate when they can leave and when they can't leave, and we want to keep control. It's all it is about.
Exactly.
All it is control. They just want to control these young men.
So let me go into the Rich Paul rule a bit more. So it's more than just a bachelor's degree as well. So one of the other requirements, Buddy alluded to this, you have to be in good standing with the National Players Association. You basically have to be an agent for 3 consecutive years.
And you have to pass the test.
And there's an exam you need to pass that's held at NCAA headquarters in Indianapolis, I believe. Yeah,
is a background. You have to
and there's also
$250.
Yes, and there's also a background check.
And it's another check that you have to pay $1,000.
That would be your licensing fee.
Your licensing is
$1,250. So
$250.
So $1,500 to get the okay from the NCAA to interact with not the players. They're
just to give advice.
Yeah.
And think about this. I heard somebody say it's easier to get a gun in this country than it was to go with that new law they was trying to pass, the Rich Paul. That's pretty crazy.
So now Rich Paul actually, the main issue he has with is the degree portion, because he feels that there are people who just aren't in an economic place to actually go to college to get this, so it's holding people back. And if you're the NCAA, this is purely my opinion here. I didn't read this anywhere, or I didn't hear this anywhere. But I think when you have, and I've seen this a lot in this other professions that I've dealt with, in my business dealings or whatever. When you have a group of highly educated people, they feel that if you don't have the same level of education, you haven't paid your dues, so you can't be in this group a lot of times, I've noticed.
Yeah, you don't belong. Yeah.
Right. And, there's certain places where having a degree doesn't really equate to experience and intellect and intelligence. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that education is important.
Either. I want to make a point. I want to make a point on that, Ricardo, because I don't know. A lot of people don't know that most agents are lawyers. Right, majority of agents are lawyers, and a lot of people don't know that in the states, in the United States, there's 7 states that you don't have to go to law school. 7 states you could be a lawyer by being an apprentice,
and as long as you pass the bar, right?
Yeah, you have to be apprentice, and then you apprentice under another lawyer, and then you could go past the bar. It's similar to what Rich Paul did. He apprenticed under someone else, a super agent, and he learned his stuff, and then he went and passed the test. It's the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, and there's a little difference between an agent and a sports. I was reading up something. A sports agent and a sports lawyer. A sports lawyer normally work with the organization and does the
contract work.
the contract work with the player's agent. So that's the difference between an agent and a sports lawyer. But many agents are lawyers. Not all, but many are.
Yeah,
Blade said.
Yeah, like 95%. So what Rich Paul did, he did the same thing. What in 7 states you're allowed to do it. In California, and there's Vermont and a few others that you're allowed to be a lawyer by being an apprentice. So he did this. He studied under someone else. He studied under a super agent. So
Yep.
you know.
Yep. I can't. The super agent name is really hard, so I forget really hard names. But it worked. Agent worked for CAA. That's the company, one of NBA agency company.
And another thing is, what about Jay-Z's agency? Because Jay-Z has a sports agency.
Oh yeah, he also did something with the NFL today too.
So that the Jay-Z thing is interesting because I believe it was a collaboration with CAA. If I wasn't, it was like Rock Nation.
You could be right.
Yeah,
I think Jay-Z the face, but the other people behind him, the agency and the lawyers, is the one that do the play. He's the face and the owner,
right?
So he's the show. So, he's the draw,
right? And so that's a minor aside. The current general manager for the Mets, he was with CAA before he got out of the agent field so he could take that position. But I mean, so there's a Marty Van Wagenen, I believe his name.
Well, the same thing. Well, the same thing for the Lakers. The GM for the Lakers used to be Kobe's agent.
Right.
Yeah. Mikovic.
Yeah.
Is his name. Yeah. Also, I wanted to speak on one thing when Ricardo was speaking about people that graduated college and really don't equal to success. Think about this: the guy that owns Tumblr don't have a college degree at all. The guy that
Bill Gates don't got a degree.
Bill Gates don't have a
Gates. The person that co-owns Spotify, no degree.
Right. The owner of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, no degree.
And these
dropped
people
out at
have
19.
multi-millions or billions of dollars.
Even Tesla, Elon Musk.
So this man put in the hard work. This man, the other people, also people say this rule is so nobody can be like Rich Paul to ever have this problem again, but. Because like Blaze said, the NCAA really has a problem with Rich Paul.
Now, if you're the NCAA, they're going to tell you we're doing it because we're looking out for the best interest of our students. We don't want them to get swindled and all these things. And I'm like, so you're telling me they're less likely to be swindled by a lawyer? Okay.
No,
the NCAA want to keep them students in school as long as possible
to make money,
milking them. It's a collegiate plantation. As long as you got those workers out in the field collecting that crop, the overseer is going to get paid.
They don't want these young to know they work. They're making millions and billions off of it, and plus the NCAA. I heard they had a problem with LeBron because they was never able to make money from LeBron because he never went to college.
I don't know how much I really put stock into that. Obviously, I don't know. I don't think they have a problem with LeBron James specifically, right? I just think they had a problem with people like LeBron James.
Exactly.
The Kevin Garnett's. Imagine if Kevin Garnett played college ball. Kobe Bryant, right? I'm sorry, the dude who played with Orlando, the center. I'm losing his name now.
Vucevic?
No, Dwight Howard. Like if Dwight, you can let Dwight Howard play college ball. Oh my goodness! Like the NCAA missed out on all the opportunity to exploit all these people. And hence, I believe they got together with the NBA and say, yo. Let's make a deal. You allow us to get 1 year control of these guys, and basically we could be a farm system for you for 1 year. You give them a little seasoning, and you get these 19-year-old players, and we get a year of stars. We could get our Trey Youngs. We could get our Zion Williamsons. We could get our, insert great college player name here.
Yeah.
You brought up Zion. The Pelicans have the most national broadcast shows they have ever in Pelicans history, and they're gonna be on ABC for the first time since 2009 this year as well.
Hey,
Since
and
the basketball schedule dropped, and
you
just to
see,
show how big Zion is,
right? And they got him for a year. You know what I mean? The ratings when this kid was playing were through the roof. Those Duke games.
But you
Yep.
hear? I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Nick Saban is the Alabama college football coach. He's telling the players to stay in college longer and don't go for the NFL draft, because his reasoning, if you don't draft in the first round, then you don't get paid. So he's saying stay longer until you could be drafted in the first round, and then you go.
Yeah. He said that last year.
Yeah.
That's easy said for a man who's getting paid $10 million a year.
Exactly.
Easy said.
Easy
said for a man who's not putting his body, his knee, his out there on the line like these young men is.
And listen to this now. So what round did Dak Prescott get drafted in? Fourth round, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think he got drafted. Was he a junior or a senior when he got drafted? Senior? I can't.
He may have been a senior.
But let's say he wasn't. Let's say he was a junior. How much would Dak Prescott have made staying an extra year? Right?
Nothing.
Nothing.
But what could he have lost? Everything. Perfect example, Blaze. You remember Bryce Love in UCLA? Everybody told him to come out last year. He didn't. Stayed his ACL up, and wasn't he like a 4th round pick this past year?
I mean,
lost.
That's absurd. That advice right there from Nick Saban. I mean,
well, he wants them to stay longer.
Obviously, it is so transparent. He should be ashamed. Well, I don't think
he wants them to stay longer so he can win football games and he'll get more money, because he gets
more money, more prestige, more legend. You know what I'm saying?
So he's coming at them saying, "Oh, listen to me, guys, because you want to make more money. If you get drafted in the 3rd or 4th round, you ain't going to get paid. But if you draft in the 1st round,
the NCAA is more concerned about their pockets than the student athletes' well-being and what they can make in the future. So the longer they can keep them in college and plowing that field,
right,
the longer the overseer or the master be happy.
And I'd like to throw in one more point here. Keep in mind, y'all. So, there's really good college programs all throughout California, right? Like athletic programs. UCLA, you got USC, et cetera. Same thing in Louisiana, right? You got LSU, you got Louisiana Tech. You got some great athletic schools out there, right? Keep this in mind. They're tax exempt. So
I'm so glad you brought that up. Also, any money they get from these bowl games and
that don't come back to your communities.
More money.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Ricardo. That eluded my. Oh wow, I forgot to bring that up, bro.
I was reading that. I was reading that article, and it was showing how much the owner of the bowls, how much they were getting. They were showing how anywhere from 600, a few million, depending on what bowl you attend. That's how much the owners were getting. But the athletes that were playing in the bowls, some of the things that they were getting was just ridiculous, man.
Yeah, $400 gift certificates,
a PlayStation here, or
PlayStation,
Xbox
a
there,
Best Buy,
a hoodie,
some socks.
Yeah, some socks, new shoes. It's
really? They give them like $3,000 to go home, right? They give them to pay for a plane ticket to go home. They give them $3,000, and what these guys usually do, they send the money back home, because come on, a lot of these guys come from homes that they're not making money. They're not making a lot of money.
Yeah.
So they send that money home to pay the rent for their family and stuff, you know. And then one guy, I know one guy, he took the money. I forgot what school, and he started selling weed. He took the money and bought weed and started selling weed on campus. So he got in trouble for that, and you know, because they don't make any money. They have no money. You know, they give them food stamps. It's a card.
Stipend. Like
they give a card to go eat, and that's it. You know.
Bro, it's a shame, bro. Think about this. Shabazz Napier. He was with the Nets last.
Yeah, point guard.
He was with Portland last year. Yeah, point guard
from UConn.
The championship UConn, and he was telling a story. Nights he used to go to sleep hungry, bro. So you brought a team millions of dollars, and they don't even know you're going to sleep hungry, bro. Yeah, because your parents and your guardians don't have a lot of money. They living in poverty themselves. Now think about this. Okay, think about this football. Okay, let's just take $500,000. And you know, football that has no limit how many people come on the team. So let's just say $500,000, 80 people. You know, 500,000, 500,000 divided by 80, whatever like that.
40 million.
And then and then we sit up there and divide that by 5. Say 5 months, because 5 months to pay them out.
Right.
That would be what? After that, let me see. 80 divided by 500,000.
Yep, so that's your 40 million.
That would be 12. That should be 12.5. I mean 12.25.
That's 200 million.
550. No, I'm talking about 500,000.
Oh,
talking about 500,000. Yeah, 500,000 divided by 80 is 1,200. 12,000. And and then divide that by 5. That's it. Just giving a player like that would be giving them like 1,000, close to 2, like 1,000 or something. 1,000 and some change a month or something like
which
that.
Which isn't a great deal. I mean, you know, and it's hard to live on $1,000 a month, man. I mean, but
they living on zero. Even if it could be less than that, if they give them 700 a month,
right?
Like 700 a month will go a long way from dudes out there eating hungry.
Well,
that's hungry.
Well, the thing about it, the thing that gets to me is this. Okay, you're coming to play for the school. All right, they're giving you an education, granted, but why can't you get work outside of the school? There's a lot of people that go to school and work. So
we're gonna definitely touch on that one, Blaze. I don't want to go too far on that one. We're gonna definitely touch on that in one of some of our questions coming up. Yeah, well, we're gonna definitely touch on that.
I'm sorry, I just want to say another example. Okay. I'm sorry, Blaze, real quick. I just want to
no problem.
Piggyback on what Buddy was saying. Will Hernandez, right? Who was the second round pick of the New York Giants, starting lineman, started all 16 games last year. You know, this man was living in a shack in college. Like, his family lived in a shack in his uncle's backyard. Now, when you say to me, this man shouldn't have the opportunity to earn a little spending money while he's on campus, while his family lives in a shack in Las Vegas, in a shack in the backyard, hot. Like.
That's hot,
bro. Oh hell yeah! I mean that's awful, man. And he's not the only one. Like Buddy mentioned, whose family situations are just really bad. You know.
Yeah, but they get so much money. They get money from the TV. They get money from the TV rights. They get money from going to the bowl games.
Bowl games.
Even the ball games, they charge you to go to the games.
Oh yeah, those games aren't free. Well, they are for students, but
they get money from the video game,
the boosters,
the 7A likeness.
The boosters.
They get the donations from the boosters
and the alums. Yep. I mean,
but you know, one thing I just want to talk about, man. Also, bro, like, you know, but they got the nerve to get these kids in trouble when these, you know, like alumni and boosters come to them because they know these kids hurting and hungry. They're like, man, if you promise to go with this guy later on, man, hey, man, you want to look good, man. Take your girl out on the day. Here go 500. Wait. Go buy yourself a new suit.
Not even remember Rich Pitino. I mean, he's no saint, right? But remember he took a student out. Gosh, I can't remember what team he was coaching at the time. He took someone out from lunch at McDonald's and they got in trouble. You can't buy a kid McDonald's? Like,
Yeah, but you see,
But
I like the guys like Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders had a Mercedes in college. He had a Mercedes in college. Reggie Bush was in San Diego. His mom and dad got a house.
Yep.
They got a house.
But they want to come back and take the Heisman away from him and remove that man's picture. It's like he's got a blotch with, if you like, when the Heisman come on, they be showing all the pictures. Like his year when he won the Heisman, not even there.
But did he do the records? Did he go break all the records?
Right.
Did he do everything to?
He brought all the records.
Right.
He brought all the money to college. Him in that offense, like he was the draw. He was the draw.
I got a Reggie Bush. My sister went to USC. So I got a Reggie Bush jersey. She bought me. All right, I bought all that money. I bought
Reggie Bush didn't see a dime off that.
He didn't get nothing from that. When I went to all those games, USC games, they didn't get nothing from that. And those tickets were damn expensive.
Right.
Yep. Student,
and it's so crazy. Like
is their pay is the scholarship that pays for them to go to school, and that's it. That's pretty much it.
And I believe that's the least they can do.
On that. We're gonna touch on that too as well.
And stuff, but that's how it is. It's that's how it is.
We're providing you with a great education. That should be enough.
You know what else makes me mad?
The collegiate plantation.
These coaches could go wherever they want to when they get in trouble. But these colleges, even if they don't get in trouble, they got to sit out a year if they want to go to another D1 or even they got to step down.
They're just now starting to address that.
Or you got to step down a whole class, go to Division II, which lessens your chance. You still have a chance to make it to the big leagues, but it makes it
less exposure
because less exposure. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like, you're not going against the best talent.
Yep.
They force these kids to do that instead of letting these kids go wherever they want to. These coaches get in trouble. They go whatever the heck they want to. You know what I'm saying? Unfair. It's unfair for the college kids. Period, man. It's just purely unfair, man.
Yep. And keep in mind, up until just a couple of years ago, you would have this coach, big time coach, insert name here. They go into your home. They're speaking to your parents. Look, I'm going to look after your son or your daughter. Well, in this case, we're really talking about men collegiate sports just because of the money they generate. So, look, I'm going to take good care of your son. I'm going to coach him up. Give me 2 years. You're going to be making millions. Come with me. Blah, 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 blah. The parents, they're like, all right, but you're going to look after my son. You're going to make sure you don't get in trouble. No, I got you. 2 months later, coach, I'm leaving. Everything I said to you, my bad. That was then. This is now. I got offered an extra $5 million to go play at this place. So, to go coach at this place. Yep. And what does the kid have to do? Stay there or miss a year to go transfer to another school?
Yep, man. There's lots of kids took money and then they got in trouble and all this other, man. These dudes, a lot of these dudes, man, they work hard, man. They put their body through hell, and their family may be going through something. They just want to look out for their family, man. They just want to look out for their family, look out for themselves, get what they feel like they deserve. Because hey, what's that $1,000 that Booster gave them when the college getting $28 million? What's that 1,000?
Yep.
What's that gonna do?
And I believe that. Look, I'm not saying that it's necessarily right for boosters or whoever to be giving these kids money like that, right? But the NCAA makes a environment that breeds this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, if you got a little stipend, you wouldn't even bother with that. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't got no excuse now. Look, we're paying you. It don't got to be a lot, but something you can buy a suit with, something you could take a person out for a meal with every so often. I mean, nobody should go hungry while they're in college.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's crazy, man.
But the other thing that's also, look at the other side. What happens when they get hurt? Then they kick them to the curb. Then they don't care. And a lot of guys they don't even finish their degree. They don't even finish the degree, or they finish a degree which is worthless. They have a degree that's worthless right now that they can't use to make money. So they went to college. and they broke their body for this school, and what do they get when they come out? They get nothing.
I do believe that's still a rule. The NCAA told the colleges that they're not obligated to pay for any medical treatment that is needed when a student athlete is hurt. They're not obligated. Now the colleges choose to pick that up themselves, but that's I believe that's still a rule that they're not obligated to do that. They don't have to do that if they don't want to.
Oh,
If a student gets hurt,
I don't
then
know. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I think they.
I think the
unless they've
colleges
changed
are on
it.
the
I know
hook to pay. I mean,
unless they've changed it, it's not mandated by the NCAA.
now the thing is, I don't know how far this extends, right? So let's say, God forbid, an athlete tears their Achilles, and they have lingering issues. I don't know how far after into the rehab they go, but I know the initial treatment.
Yeah. The initial treatment is their responsibility. Now, how like Carter said, how far it goes, that's the $1 billion.
Yeah, and if you don't play,
but they are responsible.
Yeah, but if you don't play if you get hurt, and you don't play, they kick you out of the university.
That's what I'd like to know, and I don't know the answer. So well,
it all depends if you have a full scholarship, a half scholarship.
Okay, because I'm like, you get a full scholarship and you get hurt playing this game that they gave you the scholarship for. What, your scholarship is null and void? You go home.
Well, the same thing with my sister went to USC. She had a scholarship, but she had an academic scholarship. And if you don't make a certain level, and they could pull your academic scholarship.
Right, you have to keep up a certain GPA.
Well, you got to keep up a certain.
Yeah, but this is a certain. But isn't this a little different because I would still be playing, but I got hurt through no fault of my own. It's not.
But you wash out.
Man, that's wrong.
I gotta look into that. That's some major. That is definitely something I look more into. But man, I think we definitely get into these questions. I'm that Jack gonna put out there. It's more like questions. It's more like the idea came behind Andy Short's article, "Excuses, No Reasons," by 13 myths why NCAA players shouldn't get paid, and it's like these 13 questions that people put out there why they should get paid and stuff like that, which we're gonna rebuttal in our own, with our own words to these questions that they throw out there, that Andy Shaw did research about, and I think it'll be pretty cool for us to speak on that. So Jack gonna throw out the questions we're just gonna speak on it one by one, and it's gonna be pretty interesting.
You know
Makes
what?
a lot of sense.
We'll go ahead and put that link up in the Facebook group. I think that'll be a good place for people to go check out there. Like some of the links about this that we've been using for research, we can just throw it up in there so people could, do their own research on their own too. So that's out there.
Everybody, y'all wanna check that out, everybody. Be feel free to come be a part of the Sports Cypher on Facebook. Of course, by now Cypher with a Y. Come join, come talk with us, and give us your thoughts. We'll throw the links up there and the videos up there for you guys.
Start off with the questions. Question number 1. How can we pay players fairly?
So that's one of the things people bring up. They was like, "Oh, we can't pay all the players fairly." Like, why not? Like, my whole thing is, if these dudes is generating money, you should be able to pay them regardless. These dudes put it in millions, so you can't give them $700 a month, $800 a month at the least to help them out.
Well, I guess people are trying to say, how do we break it down?
Right.
Really good players?
So, what do you play Zion Williamson compared to the 12th man on the bench for Duke? Like, should they be getting paid the same amount of money? So people are saying, "Oh, well, we can't figure. How do you figure who gets paid what?" And by the way you answered, buddy, I think you're saying there should be just an even pay scale throughout for all these players, or
well, not necessarily, but that's definitely
a start. That's a start.
That's the next question right there. That's number 2 on Andy Short's question is like the market will bring conflict to the team as in that, but the first question pretty much was like, how would the college be able to pay players in general? They will be able to pay players in general because of the money they recoup off the players. They make a lot of money off these players in general. So how will you pay them? pay them wages. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's a simple exploratory answer to that.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
they could break it down like quarterbacks could get this amount, or running backs get this amount, receivers get this amount, and that I guess they could break it down like that. Like they can make like across all the universities a standard price for each position. They could do that.
Yeah, but they can pay the players like we talked about earlier. NCAA, they don't pay. Everything is non-taxable. Them all the money they get. The bowl games, the TV money.
Yeah, they could pay them. I'm just saying. I figured. I'm saying like, what should they pay them? I think that the main question.
Yeah, no. That question coming up next.
Oh, okay.
The first question is basically how can they pay athletes in general, and basically come from the.
We already did that. We went over that before, like the ball games, the video games, the boosters.
Yeah, I mean, basically it's television revenue and bowl games. That's the biggest money makers for, and merchandise. Those are the three.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get to this number 2 because that's the one we talking about right now. Go ahead, Jack.
All right. Second question: will a marketing system kill the cohesiveness of the team?
Not if done
with the marketing.
Right. Not if.
So that's what we talking about right there. Is the quarterback getting paid more than the receiver?
Mm-hmm.
Would that break the team up? Nah.
No. What they should just do, they should just make a standardized price for each player. For each position. Like every quarterback makes $1,000 a month. Each receiver makes $900. But personally,
I think they should all just make one thing. I don't even think it should be by position because I think that will.
Yeah, that would generate some.
Right.
But think about this though. We watch sports where these grown men get paid different prices and everything's
but there's more politics in college. I'll give you a real quick example, buddy. Right? Let's say you got a coach, right? And they got 3 quarterbacks in their system, right? One is a super athlete, though, a.k.a. athletic black quarterback guy, right? Now, imagine you feel like you're a quarterback. Let's say you're Michael Vick, right? For example, you go into college, you've been a quarterback all throughout high school, pee-wee, whatever. And this man goes, I think you're a wide receiver, right? And you're like, nah, I'm a quarterback. He get paid an extra $200 at quarterback. Why can't I get them? No. You're a wide receiver or you're a running back. I can see it getting kind of weird.
Your point. So a flat rate across for everybody is simple.
Now to make an incentive, I do think if let's say because quarterbacks are usually more popular. If you're I think you should get a set percentage of merchandise. So. That's 2%, 3%, right? So even if you are a wide receiver, but you're the star of your team, you're probably going to make more because you're selling more jerseys.
Well, yeah, but so for your merchandise. So if someone comes and gets Ricardo's jersey, then you get more money out of it. If you sell 1,000 of those jerseys, then you should get a percentage.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like it could be the same percentage for everybody, but I know. Okay, I'm selling 5,000 jerseys. He's selling 500, but. That's not.
But I do agree. One thing, I think everybody. When I listen to y'all, I do think everybody should get paid the same thing, and that was just everybody be happy. Everybody be happy. Everybody be eating, and
I agree with that. At the college level, everybody should get a flat rate,
right?
Just to you get that flat rate at the college level. Once you reach the pro level, then
that's when you go negotiate
your abilities. Right. To determine how much you're gonna get paid,
and less politicking involved.
And you get and you get a percentage of your what merchandise with your name that they sell. So Reggie Bush would have got a lot of money because he sold a lot of jerseys. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to question 3, Jack.
All right. Do you think that paying players will make them shut down basketball and football?
Okay, I remember that one. It was
like professionally.
No, it would shut down the programs at college.
Shut
They
down the
was like,
programs at the college level.
the college ain't gonna be able to afford it if you pay the players. That's some of the excuses people bring
Forget
up.
that. Forget that.
Hey, you see how
that.
if Michigan was it Michigan or Michigan State, if they could pay how much ever hundreds of millions they're paying for letting that creep doctor molest those poor gymnastic girls, they can have some money. They could definitely pony up the money to pay. And I see where they're trying to say is because obviously you have bigger programs and smaller programs, right?
Smaller programs,
So
yes.
so
Yeah.
Duke is making more than Dayton, right? But
Yeah.
that's why you keep it to a reasonable amount. Like, nobody should be getting rich off of this necessarily, right? In my opinion.
Yeah.
Yep. Or like the other D3 schools, they just do it all for like Scott, like they have very little money to work with, but
Absolutely.
their programs are still up there.
Right.
So come on, man. All programs should be able to be, especially
But-
for the Power Five.
And
This
we're
really is
only
about
talking
the Power
about Division
Five.
One, really we're
Not even
talking.
Division One. We're really talking about the Power Five conference.
Oh, okay.
But the thing also
Power
that I think we got addressed is that there's other sports. So like the rowing team
And
get
lacrosse
paid-
and
lacrosse. No one goes to see them, but they still get the funding
yeah.
to carry out those sports because of the football team and the basketball.
And I think that the big three, the big two sports, still make enough revenue that even people in lesser sports, the swim team, you can get a couple $100.
That's one of the questions coming up, but it does though because the pack is the players should get paid that generates the big money. Lacrosse don't generate money to the college like that.
Right.
They don't generate millions and billions of dollars, even though they benefit from that. So honestly, they shouldn't get paid. They don't generate that. Let the people who generate the likeness and the money get the wages. Let them get the money.
Yeah, but they got to cover.
But you still got to be fair across the board. All these people are considered student athletes, no matter what sport they play.
True,
if you
but
pay one, you got to pay them all.
Not necessarily. If somebody not pulling in money, how can you pay them? And if we talking about paying somebody, now we talking about it's becoming a business and a job. So how can we pay somebody that's not putting in money?
I understand all that, but if you don't pay the other student athletes, you're leading yourself into a discrimination, probably a discrimination lawsuit.
I doubt it because
I can't get paid because I play golf. Really? I can't get paid
but
because I'm a swimmer?
and keep this in mind too. And the reason why I feel that even people who play sports that aren't revenue generators should get paid is, hey, it's very similar to the big athlete, right? But they have lesser options. So, you could be, let's say on the swim team, the same swim coaches coming to your house trying to recruit you. Like, these people still recruit, right? And they want you to, and they get prestige off you because, okay, let's say you're on the swim team for USC and you make that Olympic team. You don't think they're going to market the hell out of you and make money off of your back? Some sort of way.
Yep.
Listen, man.
No, once they make the Olympic team, that's on them, and they get to market themselves. The college out of that.
You don't think that college is going to be like, blah 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 came to our school. He did this. He did that. She did this.
I mean, they can use that as a recruiting tool, but that's not a tool for them to get money. Because the reason I say that they would not have a lawsuit because the lawyers will go into the fact of what do they generate? What do that sport generate for us to put out money to them? While wait. While another sport is sitting there funding your program. You got two other sports that's getting the money funding your program, but you want somebody to get paid from your program that's not pulling in no type of revenue to pass out wages. How can you pass out wages from the person that's not putting out that's not recouping no revenue?
Okay,
these football and basketball players is the one that's making the millions and the billions of dollars that's helping your program at the swimming or tennis team stay afloat. Y'all not doing that.
Okay.
So in fairness, the people that's pulling in the money should be the people that's getting paid.
Okay, but hold on. So we're in agreement that the team will pay for the team, the base football and basketball the revenue will pay for the funding for the rowing team. It does. Okay, so
it does. Yeah. That's what it does.
You're just saying
but
that they don't. You don't think they should get any money because they're not making money. They're okay.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I do. I do.
I think
You have to.
I think they should give him money, but they don't have to give him as much money as a football
and
team.
the reason I say it's all funding, because and I don't look at it as a wage. I look at it as just a stipend. Like, because if these players were actually getting paid wages, they'd be getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, they're not. It's not compensatory to what they're.
I mean,
who
said? Well, wages don't have to be hundreds of thousands of dollars.
No, but I'm just saying.
Doesn't be that. Somebody get paid a wage doesn't mean they're getting that.
A wage
just they just mean they're getting something for what they put out there and what they're recouping themselves.
But they're not. But my point is, so
why not?
Because put it like this: Zion Williamson, you think he's worth $500 or more?
Yeah,
you
but
say that's a wage they would be paying him.
Yeah, yeah, but the thing about it is, Ricardo, is they're not. We're just giving them the money so they could at least have money in their pocket, and they have money in their pocket instead of starving and worrying about their
and having zero in their pocket, dog. Having nothing in their pocket.
So we're not talking about giving them $100,000 a year. We're talking about giving them $20,000 a year or something.
But we're giving them wages for something they pull it in. Because if Zion with them people Duke wasn't ranked number 1 in the nation, you were coming into this tournament or whatever. Do you think they'll be seeing that type of money they seen if they was unranked?
You guys aren't understanding what I'm saying. That wasn't my point. My point isn't saying that they should be getting hundreds of thousands of dollars. It might be a case of semantics here. I'm just saying, when you call something a wage, right? In my opinion, at least, a wage or a salary. They're saying, we believe you are worth this much, and this is how much we are willing to pay you, right? I look at it, the stipend is, we don't really care how much you're worth. We're just paying you this amount, which is what we're talking about here, right? So I'm just saying, I'm just trying to put it out there that I believe there's a difference between a wage and a stipend. And I believe this is a stipend.
And I don't think this is a stipend. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's a wage because
I think it's a stipend.
You and your players is pulling in the
But you agreed that all of them are going to be making the same thing. So on that alone, it's a stipend, right?
On that alone,
I think that's cool, but I wouldn't mind if they get paid different. Why? Because we see people get along in sports. They get paid differently all the time.
But like I said, but sometimes we see them not get along too, right? Like, we've seen people argue over.
But is it over money?
Sure. I mean, not for that. What, you think Zeke is holding out because what?
But is Zeke getting mad at his own teammates or getting mad at the people above? Okay. Right. The question was.
Wait, hold on. He might be jealousy. Breeds jealousy.
And I believe
but we don't hear that. Right, but I believe now. That's not the point.
I believe
the question was, would it?
I think.
Yeah. Would it? Yeah. The question was, would it divide? Because it said it in Andy Shaw's article. Would it divide the players?
I think it could if it's not managed right. I think if people are getting paid differently, I think it definitely will. Because, like I said, college is also about opportunity, right? So again, if you just put, are you going to give the person with the half scholarship?
Partial scholarship. Yeah.
Is he gonna get the same chance as the person with the full scholarship? Although they might be better or whatever.
Well, imagine if he become a starter and he gets paid a little bit more money. Like starters get paid a little bit more than the backups. Higher star players get paid more less than the regular players. Isn't that just like what goes on in the NBA, NFL, MLB? No problem between the players there.
But here's,
you make more money than me. I hate you.
But here's the thing. That has happened where we've had players get mad at coaches for not playing them enough or giving them the opportunity. Then they ask for trades. Because they'll say, look, you're not giving me enough playing time to show what I could do. Or they have contracts set up. Yo, if I don't play X amount of minutes,
But don't that happen anyway in college? Do kids already transfer to go find playing time? That happens anyway. So you're going to have that regardless.
I understand that, but I'm just saying you have more opportunity for people to get punished by using this. I'll give an example. Yo, why aren't you... I could just see a coach going, you on the bench. So what, you getting less money now because your coach don't like you? Like... If you're Nick Saban and you're making $10 million, what do you care? Like, you're not gonna. I mean, you got yours. You know what I mean?
But that happens anyway, and players transfer. So the money thing wouldn't change nothing because it goes on anyway.
Wait, so you're saying the money wouldn't make it worse if everybody was getting paid different?
I think it would.
I don't think
Here's
it
my
would
opinion.
because
Here's the bottom line. Regardless, everybody has what they're saying, but at the college level, just so all things are just straight down the line, everything's good. If you pay everybody the same, you know what I'm saying. If you give a flat rate, this is what we're going to give you on top of the scholarship, on top of your education. You're going to get this. Then no one's in there for jealousy or getting upset because they know that look, this is the college level. At that next level, then you're going to start negotiating on how good you play. You'll start. Hey, you played this well, so you can negotiate for this amount of money. But at this college level, because we're just trying to get the college people paid. We're just kind of trying to get college players paid on top of the scholarship. Hey, this is the flat rate. This is the stipend, however you want to call it. This is what we're going to pay you.
Well,
so you have some money in your pocket. Say this once you get up to that next level, then how good you are determines how much money you get paid.
See. That's to me the same thing Carter. We go on to the next one. I'm gonna say the same thing Carter brought up for that. I can bring up for that. What happened if a coach bench a player? We like, man, you messing me up and getting my extra money. I'm supposed to be out there, but he's not playing good. The same, regardless of what it's gonna be, it's always gonna have somebody that's gonna feel like that.
But look at what you just said. Money always adds an extra element of jealousy.
That's why I don't like that incentive thing. Just pay people different based on their level. Just like when they come out of college or high school. 5-star is different from a 4-star player. Until a 4-star player becomes a star and takes somebody's spot, then you should get the most money if you took somebody's spot, right?
Well, it would breed incentives. It would make incentives for people to play harder because.
I don't always have bonuses. That's the case.
You can always have bonuses.
Okay.
If you need to have a bonus, you can always have a bonus.
Because especially when,
I don't like no bonus.
But here's the thing: when we talk about, especially Division I and a lot of Division II level players, especially Division I, these people don't need more incentive. They're like, I'm trying to go play professionally, right? Like,
yes.
Giving them an extra $100 is not going to motivate these folks like that.
So these dudes are motivation of that right now. So you think they have the motivation to get more? But let's go to the next one, man. We got more questions to get to. Go ahead, Jack. Go to
well, the next question was pretty much answered a little bit.
Okay, just go ahead and throw it out
from you guys. If you if we do set up a pay system, will the richer schools get the better athletes than the lesser schools?
The poor schools. That's why we should do a flat rate.
Doesn't matter what school you go to. You're getting paid the same
what school
thing.
you go to,
but
you're getting
But the richer schools get the best players anyway because out the top 100 players of basketball and football, they go to the better schools anyway.
Well,
strictly for the chance of getting getting into the pro better.
Yes,
you get airplay.
Yes. But these smaller schools still be making runs. They still be having players out there, right? These small schools still be going to the tournament, going to Final Fours and stuff. Why? Because there's a plethora of athletes out there to choose from, even if they don't get the grades.
But here's the thing: if we're saying a lot of these kids in their financial situation, so you're telling me if somebody goes, go to Kentucky, I'm gonna pay you $30,000, while University of South Florida, like, we can only give you $3,000, but I mean, Kentucky gonna get that player 100 out of 100 times. Like, well, you're on TV and you're giving me mad money on top of that.
All right. But tell me this, Ricardo. That 30,000 player might be the number one player in the country. That number one player in the country going to Dayton State anyway, or they going to Duke, or they going to USC, or they going to Florida.
True, but here's the thing: why give all the advantage to the bigger school? They already have an advantage. Why give them another one?
It's not about making things equal. It's just about making it to the schools. This is making it for the players. The players gonna go where the players gonna go, regardless to have a best chance to make it to the next level. So why are we holding them back for getting more money from the richer schools when they gonna go there anyway? Make them pay up.
Okay. I mean, I disagree,
Nah,
but you know,
No,
I just
Make them
I
pay up for their
disagree. I
family. Make
disagree.
them pay up.
I think it should be just
Nah.
one price for everyone. Make it even.
Okay, we go.
One price for everybody.
Okay,
Because
we go
in
to.
that aspect,
and keep
like you said, in that aspect, the richer schools are going to win
and
every
keep in
time.
mind, and once you start doing what you're saying,
Richer
buddy,
schools win
hold on. Once
anyways.
you're saying,
Yeah.
once you do what you start doing, buddy, this is no longer amateur sports. This is now a
True.
professional league, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna get to that question as well. We're gonna get
Yes.
to that question as well.
Yes.
That's a question about saying that, which I agree.
Well, the next one is we cannot pay them because we'll violate Title IX.
Oh yeah, I like that. Title IX.
Now,
So
what is Title IX, Cam? Let everybody know what Title IX is.
okay, Title IX basically is something that's supposed to create equalness between men and women. Pretty much, the majority sex that's at that college, that's the underclass that's enrolled at the college. Whoever is the majority is supposed to have the majority of the sports available than the other gender. And in most colleges in the country, it's more women than men that's at a college. So, there's more women's sports out there than men's sports. So the Title IX, people were thinking about, oh, well, this is unfair because the women is getting this and that, and the men is getting this and that. And what about the women and stuff? So they try to use Title IX as an excuse not to pay the men's players because they'd be like, oh, the women should get paid equal. That wouldn't be unfair, even though the women are the majority. But peep this out. The Title IX is supposed to go for coaches too. Okay, football, and especially basketball, because basketball and there's women's basketball, all the men coaches get paid more than the women coaches. So why does the Title IX apply for them? But why won't use that excuse to apply for the students, the men's basketball
and this
team?
goes back to what I said before. Now, buddy, if everybody was getting paid the same thing, regardless, and the lesser sports that weren't generating revenue, if they were getting a piece of the pie as well, just to keep it all above board, this wouldn't even be an issue. There would be no Title IX discussion.
Nope. Well, see, the women's basketball team pulls in revenue. That's very popular in this country. They get TV revenue and all. They will pull in.
They don't get as much as
but still
as
give.
men.
But they still do stuff to get.
Right.
They don't.
Yeah,
I say they get as much.
The black.
I'm just saying they pull in money.
Yeah.
They pull in money to where those women can get paid because they're the ones who's pulling the revenue in.
But will they be getting paid less than the men's team?
The women's coach is getting paid less than the men's team.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. The students, though.
Yes, probably will because they put in less.
Well, look at the soccer. We reported about this a couple of weeks ago. Look at soccer. The soccer, women's soccer makes more money than the men's soccer, and the men's soccer get $500,000 a year to play.
They should get paid more because they put in more money,
and the women get 90. So it's
Now I agree that the women should get paid more because they pull in more money. The men should get paid less because they pull in less money.
See,
that's what I'm talking about. Let the person who put in the work get draw the fruits of their labor.
See, I don't want that for college sports. I'm not trying to make it a capitalistic system in that way. I'm really not.
It's already a capitalistic system anyway.
I'm talking about from the student side of it. I'm saying the students deserve to get something, but essentially what you're saying is, though, you want to make another league, another professional league. This isn't college sports then. It's just another league associated with a college.
Well, let me say this because we'll talk about this
it's
too
like
as it's coming up. But
it's like the junior.
But what about
the
everyday? What about the everyday college students that has a job? That they can have their job.
Well, you said that we were going to talk about that because I was going to bring that up because I was going to say, what's the difference if everyday students go get a job at Foot Locker?
Well, we can speak on it now. Then when we get to the question, Jack just throw it out there and we'll pass it. Go ahead.
Okay. So the thing about it is, everyday students go work at Foot Locker, right? Why can't you go work at Nike? Why can't I get a deal from Nike? It's the same thing. You're not working. I'm not going out playing football. I'm just getting an endorsement.
Because when you're on an athletic scholarship, They only
then
allow
yeah,
you so many hours to have
Because
available for you to even have a job. That's different than any other student that's in there, dog. So it's still unfair. That's why I'm like, the work they put in, the work they put their bodies through just to be in physical shape to go through the season, just as rigorous as NFL, maybe even harder, because dudes is laying people out, putting their life on the line to try to get to the next level.
Now, here's the thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Keon.
They should get paid for that, dog. So by saying this becomes not this becomes professional, it does to exist because they're making professional money off them anyway.
No, but what I'm saying, the thing we pass. What I'm saying, right? We all agree on that. What I'm saying is, what's the difference of someone working at McDonald's and being a student athlete, or getting an endorsement from Nike or New Balance or Reeboks? Because they're not allowed to do that either. So I'm not gonna. I'm not.
right.
I'm
So
just showing my.
so Blades is saying they're not allowed to make money off themselves, off their own celebrity.
Yes, they're not,
Right.
and then they should.
And
They should be
I
able
believe
to go,
I believe that is wrong. Right.
should be
Yeah,
able to.
because
If they can set something up to where they can sign some shirts or something and make money, they should be able to keep that money. That's money that they make it for themselves.
And
They all work.
So this goes back to my point, guys. That's why I'm like, that's why I feel everybody should just get paid a flat rate, because you know what? If you're Zion Williamson, you can still go out and make more money than the lacrosse player, right?
There you go.
But I'm like, but you can't. But that's why I'm like, yo, just give everybody a flat rate who's on a team or whatever have you, right? At the college level, because. And I would do that, and then I would just remove the restriction on endorsements for these players. That's it. Like, because if Zion Williams could go sign himself a Nike deal right now worth $90 million.
That's like me saying, Cardo. That's like me saying, you get this job, you go put in the work, but you give me 20% of your job money. I'm not doing nothing because I'm not putting in no revenue. Just give me 20% of your check every week, and we'll be good.
But here's my thing: you're not getting like I said before. I'm repeating myself, but you're not getting paid what you're worth anyway. So what does it matter? You know what I mean? We're talking about little money to these athletes that are bringing in billions of dollars. So I'm like, if you're getting little money anyway, might as well everybody get little money, and then you can make your big money on your own celebrity and exploits.
Nah, man, let that person who's putting in the work and put it in the revenue get the most money, get what they deserve. That's what I'm saying. Let Zion get what he's owed, bro. Because
that's never going to happen. We might as well end the discussion right now. Never going to happen, because no college is paying Zion Williamson Look, if you paid Zion Williamson what he was worth, why would he bother go? I would just stay in college for the next 20 years. The hell?
Come on, man. You know that's not the case, bro. You only can play sports for 6 years with a medical red shirt a year. That's all you have.
But my point, I understand. But my point is, if you're paying Zion Williamson what he's worth, you would have to pay that man about $15 million this year.
But he's worth more than any other player on the team. So if he's get the highest paid at $20,000, so be it.
No, I'm saying if you're going to pay him what he's worth, you better pay him $15 million.
But if you paying him if you paying him more than anybody else on the team, you paying him for what he's worth, because he's getting zero right now.
Okay, so what if you paid him $1 and everybody else got nothing?
Then that's not fair, because everybody got to get a little something that's bringing in.
He's getting paid more than everybody else.
And he gets $1.
Listen, but I'm talking about everybody that's dealing with that sport. I'm not talking about lacrosse who don't bring in no revenue.
I know.
Them other people on the basketball team pulling revenue with Zion.
But
the other people on the basketball team is on the basketball game making revenue for the NCAA.
I hear you.
There's no NCAA lacrosse game. What?
Okay, so
I'm gonna send Blades the NCAA 2020 soccer.
So this next question: do you think that if the NCAA gets rid of the cell amateurism, do you think the population will decline?
Gets rid of selling amateurism, do you think the population would decline? Pretty much, NCAA sells they sell pitches these amateurs, so we shouldn't pay them, because if we pay them, the population would decline.
No.
The popularity would decline.
That's BS. Nah, if we no longer label them amateurs, are people not going to care? If you're a Duke alum and you like Duke basketball, you're going to like Duke if these players get paid or not. I mean, that's just dumb.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, so they saying that, I don't agree with that, man. Like, they just saying who loves college sports because these players are amateurs and they're not getting paid.
Right.
Like, people going to love them regardless. You know what I'm saying? People going to love them regardless.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Like,
because people gonna represent their alma mater and their college. Right. Look, like the dude said on YouTube. Oh, since they're getting paid now, and you're a fan of Arizona, we gonna start rooting for Arizona State.
Right.
Arizona State don't pay their players as much. I like them now.
Right.
Come on, man.
Okay. Now here's a big question. I'm eager to see what y'all think. If the students start getting paid, are they considered student athletes?
Why not?
Like I said, if everybody's getting paid the same, yes. But if people are getting paid on different scales due to performance, no. I think you're just an athlete. I think at that point, you're just an athlete.
Let me ask you a question, Cardo. Me and you both going to NYU.
Right.
Okay. I'm playing basketball. You playing football.
Cricket.
I have a job at McDonald's. You have a job at Merrill Lynch.
Okay.
Getting paid more than me.
Mm-hmm.
We still student athletes, so we doing it on our own, right? Getting paid whatever hours we available to work, but we getting paid different money. So why not get paid for NCAA and we'll still be known as student athletes? Why? Because we still have a scholarship to attend school. So we are in henceforth student athletes because other students are getting paid that's attending school as well.
Wait, but how you compare a student getting paid for something completely unrelated to sports, like working at McDonald's or Merrill Lynch, compared to the school giving you money because you play X sport and I play Y sport? Or you play A position, I play
say
B
we both
position.
played the same. Okay, say we played the same sport then, right?
Okay.
But your talents is on a higher level than mine, which I'm not available to be able to get a job at Merrill Lynch because my talents hinder me from that.
Right.
But your talent's not. So if my talent on the field is better than yours, henceforth, I should get paid more money than you because I am a 5-star player coming out of high school. You're a 3-star. That's why they should have a difference.
So again, I'm gonna repeat myself. I believe that everybody should get paid the same, but if we are getting a percentage of merchandise, you're a 5-star player, you're a quarterback, and I'm an offensive lineman, let's say, or a defensive lineman, or a cornerback, you're going to get money because you're the face, right? So you're making your money strictly due to your popularity and your success. It has nothing to do with the school. I think that is more. I think that will breed less resentment, and there'll be less opportunity for coaches. No, here's what it's really about. I just don't want coaches to have an extra lever to manipulate players into doing things they don't want to do or pushing themselves to a limit that they don't feel they should be put at. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these coaches are jerks, man. Like, I don't want a 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid saying, "Coach, man, my ankles, it just don't feel right." What you mean your ankle don't feel right? You know what? You ain't a starter no more. I don't think you got what it takes. And he's like, no, I'm ready. And he goes in there, breaks his ankle, right? Or something like that.
But don't that happen anyway? When these dudes wanna play with limping ankle and broken ligaments because they want to have a chance to prove themselves to get to the NFL. Like even at a lower level,
but it's their choice. But they're not being forced into doing that. Nobody's manipulating. Say, yo.
But the coach is manipulating you, man. You might not be ready. Coach, let me start, man. Let me go out there and play. Come on, man. Let me do it. Cause I'm the best player. You know this. So it to me, it's the same thing. Still goes on now.
Do you think it could go on? It will happen more? Do you think
it go on the same?
Is it
that's why players transfer.
I believe.
But I just think the players shouldn't sit out a year. That's all I believe.
I believe it's another tool in the toolbox for manipulative people to manipulate. That's why but you can't manipulate sales jerseys because bottom line, teams want to win too, right? So I'm like, If I'm your best player, well, you gonna sit me out because you don't want me to sell jerseys?
But
Probably not.
who will complain? But who will complain about the best player making the most money with the best player on the field? It sure don't happen in NBA basketball.
You know who's gonna
Football.
complain? That other player who think he's the best player.
But why he's not proving it? There's other players think he was the best player.
If you got two all, I don't know. Let's say you had a team for argument's sake. With matter of fact, we don't even got to. Just collegiately speaking, right? Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry, right? In college, they both could have been like, I'm A1, right? Obviously, that proved out to be different in the NFL, right? But if there's only so many slots for you to be the best play, like, you don't think that could breed resentment on the team? What if I'll give you another? What if half the team? But here's my thing. What if you can't decide what they are worth? What if half your team's like, yo, you can't pay that dude more than this dude? And they're like, nah, and they resent the other guy who's getting paid more now.
What you mean, dog?
Because they got their own dude.
They don't do that in sports right now. Tell me an NFL team, basketball team,
bro,
team be like,
that
why are you paying him?
Bro, that is
Give me an example. Give me an example.
Bro, but in the NFL, things are negotiated. Things are there are pay scales, there are salary caps. There are
pay scales and negotiation when the contract is up.
But
until then, there's no negotiation unless they're gonna sit down and try to do a whole-out thing.
Well, there is
negotiation.
Definitely a negotiation because I'll give you an example. You have obviously they have rookie pay scales in the NFL now, right?
Yeah, but it's non-negotiable.
Okay, but it is to a certain extent. That's why you have players. Even now, you have rookies who don't because they don't sign their rookie contract because they want a little more, right?
They want a little more of the offset, like the little filigree stuff. Like it's nothing. Their pay scale is what the pay scale is
right? No, but the pay scale tells you the most a player could get. So that's because you're the number one overall draft pick, and you could get $8 million. That doesn't mean I necessarily have to pay you $8 million. Correct?
Okay.
So there is a negotiation. It's just a cap on it. That's all. But you can still. But I'd be like, I think you're a $6 million player, and you think you're worth the full $8.
Because a lot of these players sitting out, I heard a lot of time, like Ella Sheffer said, it's offset language. It's stuff that's like frivolous, but they don't hold out to the season. They still wind up eventually signing.
True, because they don't have the juice, right? They just don't have the leverage at all.
That's nothing because it's still a pay scale. Right. So it's either
unless you're a quarterback, then you have a little bit more leverage. Because somebody just hey, look, if I'm sorry, Baker Mayfield was like, I want this in my contract, right? They're more likely to give it to him than they would have gave it to Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, but he's still not going past that pay scale.
Absolutely, but there is things he can negotiate for. There is So my point is to say,
see, my just thing. Go ahead.
No. You go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah, my just whole thing to say, bro. How come in era of the league, everything be cool? Like the dude put in the dude on the YouTube channel had put what Quentin Cooks made $136,000 in 2018. He was smiling his arms around Stephen Curry, who made $32 million. Right. Like, they got along just well and just fine. And there's lots of cases like that throughout the history of sports every year. These players don't trip when other players get paid. Because why? Because Stephen Curry is one of the best players not only on the team, but in the league.
Okay, I mean, I could be wrong about it. I really could.
It's a good debate we're putting out here for the people.
Because
two sides of a coin.
I just look at it as, if you're in high school, there was always popular people who got more attention, and they might even have deserved it. People were still hating, right? You go to your workplace, a person could legit work harder than you. They'll still hate on you because you make more than them. Like...
Yeah, you're right.
So I just believe when you add that to college, to this dynamic, I don't really think it needs to be there. It's just another thing. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's a me thing. Maybe I'm just used. Maybe I'm so cool if this player is ever better than me.
I think you're just a sensible, level-headed person. But then most people,
everybody not,
especially athletes who Put it like this: if you're a college, and let me know what you think of this too, Big Jack. Right? You're a college athlete, especially at the Division 1A program. You have been the best since you were 5 years old at whatever you did. Right? This is probably the first time in your life you might have found somebody better than you at a sport. Right?
Yep.
But you still think you're the best. Like college sports on that high level is hard, man. Like you pretty much devoted a good chunk of your life to playing these sports, and it's even more so in professional sports. So I'm like, I don't know how many people can put that ego at the side, because when none of us making nothing. I think that's one thing people can say, well, I'm playing hard to get to the next level, or for my personal pride or whatever have you. Yeah.
All right, so here's the next question. Do you feel that they can't get paid? The student athletes can't get paid because they'll violate NCAA rules.
Now this is the classic. This is the classic catch-22, right? Change the damn rules, and they won't be violating the rules, right? Like,
NCAA
there you go.
Dumb.
They make
These
the
people
rules,
being dumb.
That's so like the dude said on YouTube, bro. Like, oh, you can't fly a plane, but you made the plane. So you made the plane to fly, but then you can't make the rule. We can't fly the plane. Like,
you know what that's like? That's like saying, yo, if you're a slave and you leave your plantation, that means you broke the law and you're a fugitive. You're a fugitive slave. I'm like, well, if you stop making me a slave, I won't be a goddamn runaway fugitive. Now, will I? Like,
Yep.
What are you gonna say?
Yeah, man. Oh,
true. I mean, this rule is made by the people. You made the rule. Change it. It takes me back just off subject a little bit. You remember Coming to America, where at the end of the scene where the king and the queen was in the car. He's like, "Who am I to change it?"
He's right.
Well, they
You're
like,
the king.
You gotta marry this. You gotta marry this certain girl. And he's like, "Well, it's the rules. Who am I to change it?" She's like, "You're the king.
Right.
You're the NCAA. You can change the rule. You made it.
They have a governing body. Yeah, change the rules to adapt to the new situation. What? No.
There you go. It's easy, but that's a good old boy system. And if you
it's
do
the chicken and the egg. They that's the chicken and the egg argument.
Jack, get to number 12, man. I think
here's the next 12.
Yeah, I think 12.
Yeah. Here's what I was about to do.
Okay.
Here's the next one. Here's the next one, which I truly agree with this. Giving student athletes any type of money in this situation, are they able to
handle that much money?
Handle that much money? Are they able to handle that money? You know what I'm saying? Like, even in the pros, some of these young kids, they get that money and they go out, they just waste it, and all of a sudden they ain't got no money. They living paycheck to paycheck, even as a pro. As a student athlete, you know what I'm saying?
You know what my answer to that is? Mind your goddamn business. It's not. Who cares? I'm gonna give you an example. If your parents are rich and you're 18 and they giving you $10,000 a month to go party at schools, is college stepping in and saying, "We don't think you should do that"? Like, you're an adult.
But there's a difference. That's different. That's a different situation. You're an adult, but you're a student athlete, which I feel that right there should be the responsibility of the school. Look, we're gonna give you this money, but we're also gonna show you how to work with your money.
Well,
not
that's
just go
what
out
they
there
should
and
do.
blow your money.
But
and
here's
spend
the
it on
thing: I don't
stuff.
think they should give them advisors. What's the matter?
Well, listen, they should give them advisors to help them out. Like, I agree with the cat on YouTube. They should give them advisors to help them out, because colleges, businesses has advisors to help them out with their money anyway. So you got people that's actually going to school to be an advisor. What's no better training than the live situation to pass an exam by helping out and being an advisor to some of these players that's getting paid.
I'll tell you, I'll roll with you guys on that. You know what you do?
Hi.
Hold on.
You had a nice day.
Echo, shut the hell up, yo. What the hell?
She's like, what? You know what you do? What?
Hello, Moto. But yes, bro, like, they can help these kids out, bro.
Look,
like,
here you go. If you're a student athlete, you have to take some kind of financial course. Boom. on managing assets. There you go. It's a requirement for student athletes.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool and all, but you still need somebody there to be like,
so you actually need somebody to hold your hand.
Hold your hand? I don't agree with that anyway, bro.
It's not a matter of just holding your hand, but just, once you give a kid, if you give anybody a certain amount of money that's never used to having that much money, they can go buck wild with it. What's the problem with just having somebody look, you have this much money, why not let's look at investing or doing a little something better instead of just going out and blowing your money.
But that's what I'm talking about, Jack. I was like, just have somebody that's going to school for that. What's the no better test than the people that's going to school to be a big advisor?
So this leads me to this. How much money you giving these kids? Like, because I'm like, if you're giving a person $1,000 a month, I need to tell you how to manage $1,000 a month. Like,
well, that is true because y'all both do believe in a stipend, Jake.
So I'm like,
do you really need to manage $1,000?
But if you're giving these kids hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars,
that is true. Yeah,
then hey, I guess
you can't. No, it don't need no manager if I'm only getting $1,000 a month.
Well, and that aspect now, okay,
I'm gonna spend this on
food and transportation, right?
Okay, look at it this way. That's me and Ricardo saying on giving them a stipend. But you, on the other hand, you was wanting to give them what they were worth. Where in that aspect, they need.
Well, I want to get them for what they put in, and what they work. Yeah, not what they work on a professional level, what they work on a college level. But I also be like, let those kids, those college students who's going to college classes to be an advisor that's taking up that's taking up in that field to double back and talk to their peers, and also it be a learning lesson for them as well. It's like okay, the college professors is watching these students doing real life training with these real life players that's getting paid to help them manage stuff. That's no better test than hands on in that situation. To me, I think it'd be perfect.
Okay. Well, hey,
I think that's the wrap on everything, Jack.
We need to agree to disagree, but as always, look, the questions that we just went through, let us know how you guys feel on Twitter, Facebook, and come in and I think can we put the questions up on like a Twitter and Facebook?
Why not?
Yeah. Well, I'll put the link up there. I'll just throw the whole link.
Put the link up there and go through the questions and come in and let us know what you think. What your opinion is on the questions that we went through.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on our special edition of the Sports Cypher podcast dealing with the NCAA. You could ask us questions about this and anything other thing sports related you want on our Facebook group or on our Twitter. And as usual, we are giving the people what they want.
Getting paid and what we work.
Stipends for all.
What happened?
The Andrew Gang playing.
Blades.